My video on container gardening has been watched over 500,000 times. So if you're thinking about trying container gardening, I'm going to give you the 3 things that beginners absolutely must get right. And if you've already tried container gardening and you're not sure that you're doing it correctly, you'll want to watch all the way through just to make sure you're getting off on the right foot. Number 1, the right pot. Size matters. Bigger is almost always better. The material doesn't matter, the shape doesn't matter, but the size, it matters a lot. Small pots like this tend to dry out very quickly. And if you're in a hot climate or you've placed your containers in a sunny spot, you're going to find out how quickly they dry out. And in the summertime, you're going to be watering these little guys every day. So you want to go bigger. If you've already bought a bunch of small pots, I'll give you a few tips at the end on how to make those work, but let's keep going with how to do it right in the very beginning. So here's a perfect example. The reason that big pots are better than small pots, bigger pots hold more moisture. They hold more soil, which means that that plant, whatever you put in there, is going to be able to stay in there for a very long time. We're talking years. So you don't want to put a 4-inch plant in a big pot like this. You don't even want to put a 1-gallon plant in a pot like this. This camellia came in a 2-gallon size. So instead of buying a 1-gallon size, I paid a little bit more money to get the 2-gallon size. I bought myself a couple years worth of growth, and it looks more in proportion to the size pot that I planted it in. If it's hard for you to get the 2-gallon size, you can always put a 1-gallon pot on each side of it and give it a chance to fill in. I'll show you a couple examples of how I did that in other places in the garden. Go as big as you possibly can on the pots. They're going to hold more soil, more moisture, and you're not going to have to keep potting them up, which, by the way, is a myth in my book. Some people advise that you buy a 1-gallon pot and you put it in the next size biggest pot. And then when the root ball fills that container, you buy the next biggest size pot, and so on and so forth. And that's what they call potting up, that you would continue to grow it in bigger and bigger containers. I think that is a very expensive proposition. I have never done that. I have bought a pot big enough that I could afford, that I thought was appropriate to the area that I was designing in my garden. I bought a plant big enough that it looked the right scale, and I left it there 5-10 years. Much less expensive than buying all those pots, cutting out all that work for myself. So as a beginner in container gardening, cross that off your list. No potting up. Here's an example on my front porch. I've got 2 1-gallon boxwoods in each of these planters. Yes, I could have put one in the middle, but it would have taken longer than I wanted. And I love the symmetry of adding 2. So think about that when you're buying your containers. This is a perfect example of what I'm talking about for the watering. Had I put these boxwood in individual pots instead of together in one large pot, the individual pots would have dried out a lot faster than this large rectangular planter with the 2 plants together. There's a lot more soil, a lot more moisture in a bigger pot. Here's one last example before we move on to the soil. If you're like me and you like big, bold pots, think about buying your plants in the 3-gallon size. It will cost a little more, but you'll gain a couple years growth and it will look totally in proportion and you'll have instant impact. Now let me show you how to be successful with soil. When you are beginning with container gardening, you need to know that soil is important in 3 different ways. It has to provide moisture, it has to provide air, and it has to provide nutrients. So the better draining and the more rich you can make that soil, the better for those plants. And rich, well-drained soil also saves money on fertilizer because so many of the nutrients are already there. So now, let me show you up close the 3 things I mixed together to create the perfect blend. And this mix has allowed my plants to stay in the same pots, some of them 10, 12 years, and they still look amazing. This is the soil from my own garden. It's very sandy, and if I didn't add anything to it, the water would just drain straight through. So I'm adding equal parts of purchased soil for containers to my own native soil in my garden, roughly equal amounts. So you can see the purchased soil is adding compost. It's adding structure. This will be able to absorb water faster, but it's fluffy. So the soil from my own garden makes it a little bit denser. And on top of that, to make it richer, I add either chicken manure or worm compost, about half as much as I added native soil or purchased soil. And I just make sure that everything is thoroughly incorporated, and that's what gives me such a beautiful blend. So I know that my native soil got improved by adding the compost. The compost got improved by adding my native soil, because without it, it would have been a little too fluffy. And they both were enriched by adding either the chicken manure or the worm castings. And that's what I consider my perfect container blend. Okay, now let's talk about the water, because this is where a lot of container gardeners give up. When you buy a small pot and you are watering it every day, the roots never have a reason to go down any deeper. They can stay on the surface because you're providing water that keeps them there. Instead, if you buy a bigger container and you water deeply, deep enough so that the soil that is down here is saturated as well, the plant has to go down deeper to get it, which means it will last longer and you don't have to water every day. So whether you are hand watering or you're hooking your pots up to a drip system, make sure that you do it long enough or run your drip long enough that it goes to the deepest parts of the pot. So now let's circle back to what I said in the beginning about if you are using smaller pots. There are a couple of things you can do to make them work. Number one, you can paint them. You can paint the outside, you can paint the inside. Number two, you can seal them. This is a spray that I've used in the past. It's called Rust-Oleum, Painter's Touch. And it's described here on the label as fast drying indoor and outdoor general purpose coating. So you can spray this on the inside to help keep the moisture in. On top of that, this is one of the coolest things that I love about container gardening. These are water storing crystals. And if you have a pot that's in a hard to reach place, or you have a small pot like this and you want to avoid having to water it every day, these water storing crystals absorb many, many times their weight in water. And then as they dry, they are slowly releasing it into the soil where the roots can get it. So if you haven't heard of these, let me show you what they look like dry. They kind of look like rock salt. And this is what they look like wet. So again, they absorb many, many times their weight in water. And as they dry slowly, that water that they're releasing becomes available to the roots. So my recommendation is buy a pot as big as possible, as big as you can afford and as big as what will work in your own garden. But if you can't, or you just like the look of smaller pots, think about adding water-saving crystals or painting the pot either on the outside, the inside, or sealing it with a sealant. If you can't find this at your local hardware store, I will leave a link in the description. I hope I've given you all the encouragement you need to try container gardening. And if you'd like to do an even deeper dive, be sure and watch the video that's coming up next. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.